Thank you everybody for showing up today. I want to start off by apologizing to my children. I want to apologize to all of your children. I want to apologize that they have to grow up in a world where racism injustice, inequality, and discrimination is still very alive and present in our community. Today marks the 57th year anniversary when the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his I Have a Dream speech to fight injustice, inequality, and discrimination. And while our country have taken many steps forward to bring justice, equality, and to end discrimination, 57 years later, we are still experiencing it. We can have that no more. We are here because of our life experiences. We are here because of our fear. We are here because of our hope. The commonality of our life experiences and desire for change is what bonds us together. At one time or another, we have been victims of injustice. We have been victims of inequality. We have been victims of discrimination. We refuse to no longer be victims. We must stand united against hatred and harmful language in our community. We will no longer tolerate language or conduct that incite hate.
No more!
No more!
We will no longer tolerate being silenced or ignored. We must stand together united as parents, as brothers and sisters, arm to arm, to end injustice, inequality, and discrimination.
Right!
We must protect our community. We are here because we have hope for our children. When I look at the faces of my children, and I look at the faces of my nephews and the children in the community, I see hope. I see potential. We stand here today because we refuse to have our hopes daggered by injustice and inequality and discrimination. Again, we must stand united as parents, as brothers and sisters, arm to arm to end injustice, inequality, and discrimination. We are here because we fear for the safety of our children. We fear that this negative, implicit bias can lead our children to internalize negative stereotypes about themselves based on a group association. We fear how the consequences of our stereotypes will affect their performance in academic and non-academic domains. We fear that our children will be subjected to racial discrimination, racial harassment, or be in a racially hostile environment. And it is with this fear we must stand united as parents, as brothers and sisters, arm in arm, to protect our children at all costs.
Right!
People often ask me how come I wrote a letter to the school board. A few days before I wrote this letter, my 7-year-old son He comes to me and he asks me one question. Dad, why do people hate Hmong people? I could not give him an answer to that question. All I could do was pull him close, hug him. I'll tell him all you need to worry about is growing up, doing your best in life. Let me protect you from all the evils in this world. Since writing this letter, I've been accused of being a sergeant of Mayor Lee. I've been accused of being a plant of Mayor Lee. I wonder if these accusations are made because both of us are of Hmong descent. I am deeply concerned about the discriminatory conduct of Bobby Singh-Allen. In response to our letter, which my wife and I wrote as concerned parents and on behalf of concerned Elk Grove Unified School District parents and Elk Grove citizens, our very own trustee, Bobby Singh-Allen, forwarded my letter, our letter, to a third-party organization and stated, and I quote, Ali Moua is trashing all the women that spoke up against Steve Lee and have the audacity of drafting the attached political stunt against me. He is doing Steve Lee's bidding, and this is exactly the type of behavior all of us expressed through our testimonials. As we celebrate the 19th Amendment, this type of shady behavior is exactly the type of obstacle women face every day. I certainly hope you all consider revoking your support. First, let me make this clear. I stand by women. I support women. I respect women. I support women's rights. Our letter does not mention any of the women who spoke up against Mayor Lee. Our letter does not seek to control, to intimidate, or to silence any woman. Our letter addresses our concerns for our children and the negative impacts that they potentially face. Not only children in Elk Grove, but neighboring cities, locally and nationally. I'm deeply concerned and troubled that instead of Bobby Singh-Allen addressing the concerns of these parents, us as parents for our kids, that she would send this letter to a third-party organization, trying to attempt to silence the voices of concerned parents. Is this what we want from our trustees?
No! She's a coward!
She's a hypocrite!
We all should be deeply concerned that Bobby Singh-Allen continues to cast any person who speaks up for the Hmong community and their children to be doing Mayor Steve Lee's bidding. Enough is enough. The behavior of Bobby Singh-Allen is troubling and concerning. It is clear that her personal grievances against a person of Hmong descent has affected her judgment. She is no longer fit to lead our school district. We must hold her and all of our elected officials accountable for their actions. We will not tolerate behavior by any board members which insults, degrades, or stereotypes any race, ethnic group, or national origin.